Okay. Before ta maka-start sa atong topic, what I want you to do is to make your own um ang inyong individual group na theoretical background. So in this theoretical background, you will see that these are the things that I will write in my theoretical background. Well, this is for my topic. So I'll just give this an example. I'll also send this to you so that you'll have a link or you can see this kung giunsa sad nako pagbuhat ang ako ang proposal. So before I in your case, pareha ta more or less because you already have the topic in mind. Ang inyong topic, I already gave that to you. So somehow there is really no more need to not really no more need but ang supposedly when you're making a theoretical background, you should have a mind map wherein you start with the world problem or the bigger problem that your um, thesis or your project or your material is trying to address. So when you say big world or real world problem, it starts from a um, bigger issue and then you define it a little more after as you reach to the main part of your topic. So in my case, um, the issue nga ako ang gi-address is actually how to strengthen the because the supposedly the idea here is the fiber is supposed to strengthen your cement boards. Okay, now how do you increase the bond between the fiber and the cement board and the cement that is considering two the two of them are two different material. One is organic and the other one aggregates and cement. So in my case I am kanang trying to increase the bond by treating the fiber, no? So when I treat the fiber kanang ako siyang gihumol sa NaOH or immerse it in NaOH, supposedly the NaOH will kanang roughen the surface. So when the surface is being roughened, no, the tendency is or the idea is it will somehow make the bond stronger. So anything that's rough and then imuhang butag papilit, of course automatically supposedly ideally it will increase the bond between the two material nga dili pareha. So with that said, since there is already the strengthen sa bond, supposedly if imo naon, if you are going to immerse it with different concentrations of NaOH, supposedly it will get more rough, no? So kung the experiment here wants to answer whether or not kung the more I increase the concentration, does it also automatically increase the bond? So mo na siya question there. So in your case, there are you have four different topics, no? So I cannot specify for each one of you what I want to see, but I'll just show you how I did mine so that you'll have an idea on how to do yours. So first one, supposedly this is supposed to be the mind map, no? So when you say the mind map, it starts from the bigger problem and then you go down to the detail na. So first is I start with these are just outline. Di pa ni siya mao ang kanang paragraph or anything. So these are outlines. So first is I look for effects of the use of timber. So I take note that when we're doing this, we're supposed to sell it. No, we're supposed to sell our product. Now, when we are selling, of course, you have to show that there's actually a need. So in this case, I want to emphasize that the effects of the use of timber is of course not good for the environment. So I will find uh, topics or researches that will answer this, or that will agree to all these statements. No, so I'm assuming that this the excessive use of timber is actually detrimental for the environment. Okay, so again, what we're after is we're going to sell our product. You imagine the product. I've already mentioned this from a previous meeting, that we are going to sell this product, and then of course, if you're going to sell a product, you have to create the need, or well, not create but emphasize the need of making the product. So in here you have effects of the use of timber, and then next it would be the negative effects of production of construction materials in the environment. So these are two different needs. One is the environment, the other is a construction, well, environment still, but this one more emphasis na on the construction material, because not all the time nga ang timber is used for construction only. So I'm making it more defined as I go down further sa ubos. Okay? So, next is I increase the demand of construction materials, because of course every year there's a new product being used, or there's a need of more products, because of course sige man og padayon og construct ang mga buildings. Okay? Next is the decrease, because we know that the increase of the demand of materials, construction materials, may cause kanang something negative to the environment. So there is also an a push towards kanang going for waste materials instead. That's why a lot of the topics that we have some sa structural nga side is more of kanang what to add, no, what waste materials we can add to the construction materials, because we want to lessen the waste that is already in the environment. So kana siya, no, increase the demand. And next is the introduction about the cement board. So this time I'm already introducing the cement boards. So with the introduction of cement boards, I'm already trying to lead the topic, or the theoretical background nga, okay, I am actually going to do a cement board, no. And then next, in the common use of cement boards in the Philippines. So where are they used generally? This is the for walls, or is this for ceilings, etc. And then next would be the standard for cement boards. It could be ASTM or other. Probably if DPWH has his own standard, then maybe we can add that as well. No, so standard. So this will narrow down on the details of how your cement board is to be done, or to be mixed, or to be created, or to be manufactured. No. Next is this is still about number 7 is still about on the aspect of cement board. Now take note, our product is a fiber cement board. So that's why there's already an introduction to coconut coir. So when we talk about coir, ang ato pang gi-introduce ani is just the overall use, or data, or anything that we can make use for the coconut coir. So it could be abundant which is the Philippines, because we also, aside from introducing our product, we also have to sell why we are using coconut coir. Now in the Philippines, ang coconut coir is is considered as waste. I've asked a lot of people. I've researched on this. The coconut coir is actually something nga gigamit nila for agriculture, but it's not widely used as they'd hope, no. Kay somehow, because of its abundance, murag di na gyud sad siya mahurot o gamit. Actually, I've also talked from someone from um, Philippine Coconut Agency ba to in the Philippines here, well, in the Philippines, ang iyang istorya, we actually a lot of a majority of these coir is actually kanang left to rot, no, in wherever they are being produced. So there it already gives value nga, okay, so there is actually this product is abundant everywhere in the Philippines na agyoy lubi. So this one is not a problem to whoever wants to produce this kind of material, because after all, bisag asa naman dyan coconut sa Pilipinas. So that's a good thing. Next is, since we are trying to make use of something organic, we also have to convince them that, hey, despite this being organic, it's actually good when it comes to decomposition, because it takes a while to decompose. I actually have a research on this too, no? So I'm trying to convince the reader here that decomposition is not an issue even if it's organic, because, well, number one, it takes so long to decompose. So again, these are topics that I had to look for, and I had to convince the whoever is reading that this is a good product, because again, it takes a while to decompose. Next, we start now with the advantages of coconut coir, then how it is being used in the Philippines, because number one, aside, even if we want to create a new product, we also want to make sure that we are not ano si tawag ani, wala ta nang ngilog sa other industries, because there are, like I said a while ago nga, there's an industry in agriculture that is using coconut coir, no? So maybe unya, if we are too kanang ano si tawag ani, aggressive kintahay with our product, you might kanang ano si tawag ani, intrusive na ba, or how should I say it, kanang imuha na silang giilugan bitaw with the amount of products or the core that they need. So like I said, I already mentioned a while back, there's actually a lot to big volume of this coconut coir that are left to rot in the provinces. So in this case, that's not an issue. So next would be the common uses of coconut coir. I'm just discussing here unsay mga common industry nga being used. So nay uban, agriculture, some ang part ana gigamit, well, both are actually used as kanang for the agriculture industry mostly. Then next is, if it's been used, number 13, if it's been used in the Philippine construction industry. And then next is the process of extracting coconut coir, how it's done. I think they have what they call as decorticating machine. So mura na siya from the murag lampaso nga look, and then kanang murag lampaso bitaw, kanang what do you call it, butong ba, and then imuha ng tanggalon ang kanang shell, and then outer shell, and then kanang hard shell inside, and then from there ang ano si tawag ano, kanang basta kanang fiber na nga part, unsaon na niya pagbungkag. There's actually a decorticating machine, so that you have to explain that as well. And then number 15 is now the introduction of my treatment process, wherein I would have to immerse this in NaOH, or sodium hydroxide. Now, in here, I have to indicate studies that says that the use of treatment on anything organic is something that you have to do to take out the, I forgot, lignin ba, and then keep the cellulose, or have to, I forgot this already, but there's a part that's made out of cellulose, and there's a part that's lignin, and you have to remove a part of it to make sure that you actually, because again, it is, even if it's a strong fiber, mura na siya og kanang, there is murag a membrane inside that is jelly or in gel form that stays there unless you treat it. So that is murag mahuglo siya nga water base. So if you don't remove it, it stays inside the fiber cement board, and because of that, mubati iyang bond, because again, that jelly form that wraps the fiber keeps the fiber from bonding properly with that of the cement. So that's why you have to include that sa treatment process. And then next would be, what are the commonly used treatments? There are so many, but the one I have to, again, from coconut coir, I'm now moved to the treatment. So I also have to introduce this, no? So after showing treatment necessary, I have to include also all the common use treatments, and then next would be the best treatment to use. That's what I'm using now. That's what I've proposed to use, which is NaOH. This you also, well, for those who do not need this, you of course you don't have to put this there. And then next is procedure of treatment, how it's done, no? And then next would be the effects of treatment on coconut fiber. It could be not necessarily on the coconut fiber, but you could use something for well, di man gud mo parehag research, but again, this is just for me. Effects of the treatment of coconut fiber. So this I'm closing in on my end part na, no. So that's why nagkaduol na sa kanang ako ang topic mismo. So this one is a treatment of the fiber board, so effects, and then effects on the fiber cement boards. Next would be the things that I think akong gipa-studyhan ninyo: the orientation of the fiber, the length of the fiber, common volume of fiber, design mix, water cement ratio. These are things nga I had to find that may not necessarily be for coconut fiber, because that's why ako ning gipa-studyhan ninyo, because it was hard for me to look for anything exclusively for cement, coconut fiber. So I had to check other cement boards nga lahi ang fiber ang gigamit. Okay? So yeah, that's it. These are other studies about coconut coir and materials other about coconut coir as fiber cement. So this is the last part. So again, this is an outline, and then from here I had to check for corresponding studies, no. So effects of the use of coconut fiber. So everything in here is based on a specific research. That's why sa inyo you have to read a lot. Okay, so each one gamiton man gud ni nako later on when I do my theoretical background. So kanitanan ang nasa theoretical background is just like a series of researches nga ako alang gi-arrange all together, agreeing to everything that I have written here. So tanan kaning akong theoretical background is more like a topic nga ako ang pangitaon sa ako ang final nga theoretical background. Okay? So how do you arrange it? So what I do is kani study links, which these are things that I had to research on, no? So let's say for example katong part nga I'm thinking about the common treatment concentration. So these are the researches. You have the year of the research, the title, the link. This is very important because in order for us to know that it is a legit, no, nga research is if it has a DOI number. No, ang link niya is legit. And then the author, the material, because sometimes it may have the same treatment with my material, but the difference here is kanisad ang material nga gamit may not necessarily be for coconut coir. So it could be hemp or coconut fiber, coir, polyester, a mixture of both na. And then since I'm referring to the treatment concentration, each topic has a different range or value nga gigamit or each study. So, ako na siyang gi-highlight because this will be later on used as a reference for me to decide on, okay, unsa man jud nga volume ang akong kailangan or concentration nga kailangan. So, like, let's say, for example, katong nag-study about length of fiber. So in here, ang inyong length of fiber, inyo nang daghanan kaayo og topics din ha para atuan na siyang i-decidean. Okay, so for length of fiber mo niyang length gigamit, and then let's show there unsay mga values gigamit niya. Butang ta 6 cm ba, 5 cm, 4 cm ba for this study. So the next study, let's see 3, 2, 1 or whatever. So this will be the range of values used in relation to the topic that we have provided here. Okay, so that's row G. Now in H, I only highlight here the results, no? So kung unsa tong result nga to ang iyahang kwan. So let's just say in here it shows nga 4% NaOH has the best sample or result for the compared to the rest. So that's one. And for this study na ang iyahang kuan is 2% nga concentration ang the best. So because later on, once these results will show that ato man day nang i-compare, okay, unsa man gid atong gamiton nga result for you, or again going back to the ones using length. Kung length o kani siya ang iyang research 6 mm ang iyang pinakadako, then 6 cm ang pinakadako. Kani nga study 4 cm ang iyang pinakanindot, kani nga study 3 cm. So maybe because of the values that they have provided there, we can come up with the length nga ato ang gamiton for testing. Okay? And then remarks, these are extra things that you might want to remember. So NH concern, different cocoa coir lengths are tested. So ang akong gi-emphasize ani is that ang duha ang iyang factor ani, the concentration of course coconut coir lengths are also tested. Okay? So, I want you to arrange all your researches this way para masayon na to pangitaon. Now, you have to arrange each one. So, let's say for example, for effects of timber. So, number 1, effects on the use of timber. So, ang inyong isuwat nganhi, effects on the use of timber, and then all the corresponding researches nga magamit din ha. The link, the author, the material, etc. So, I hope that's understood. And then, next topic. So, number 2. Sa man tong item number 2. Negative effects. So, going back. So, what ni mo diri? For negative effects, what are the studies that are related to negative effects, etc. So, what ni mo? Of course, preferably, all of these researches should be related to coconut coir or cement boards or anything as much as possible very close to our study. So, katong mga lagyo na kayo, di na nato to i-appeal kay it's not gonna support our claim for the need to study our topic. Okay? So, there. So, those are the study links. I also written here, ESTM, kani, these are things that I need to do for the testing, for the manufacturing, no? Kani, procedures, terminologies, laboratory test, pre-lab test, kani mixing with mortar. I had to include this because cement boards do not have coarse aggregate. So since it doesn't have coarse aggregate, it is considered as mortar, no? So that's why I included this. And then here is manufacturing, and then the tests, etc., specifications, how it's done, no? Kana. Methodology research, kanisad, anything nga related to how they've done the research, because later on magamit pud ni sa methodology nga part, which is chapter 4. in your paper. Another one, so scope and limitations. Kuan na ni. These are things that I had to decide on nganong kani nga length of fiber akong gigamit o kani dili ni length of fiber. More like unsay ako ang gipilian nga length of fiber, and then ultimately unsay nga length akong gigamit. But some of this have already been changed because of kanang decisions sa nga gihatag sa ako as a panel. Okay, and then different methodologies. So I had to do this kanang methodology 1. Lahi-lahi man good, because based on the researches I have read, they have different methodologies on how they manufactured, how they because not necessarily nga ang imuhang i-follow ASTM. Some, if the ASTM does not provide it, you can actually go for past researches para basis for your methodologies. Okay, so in here I have different methodologies. Kani for testing, lahi ang iyahang gamit, lahi po in this one, and I have highlighted here the sizes of the samples, because I also want to know the different sizes that I'm going to do, because I know kanang my capacity on how much I can spend, because again, aside from me spending on this alone using my own money, well, I'm hoping to get a funding, but I have to use my own money, so I have to limit the number of samples. Limit nga not to the extent nga bati na sa dakong value, but limit it to the point nga it's still good sampling size, but not too much nga it would be so expensive on my part. That's why I had to make sure that the sizes are okay. Kana siya, no? So that's given. Yeah, I think you can arrange it like this, no? Kana siya. Next would be not that one. I think the most important part here, well, first one that I need you to submit next meeting is this part, the first page, wherein it has the effects of the title and the objectives. So after this, so kani objectives, and then the theoretical background kanang bulleted na, no? And then lastly is the study links, I would assume. So dinhi na ang labanan sa pagbasa og daghan. Okay? So and then we'll proceed to scope and limitation after this. Pero I will probably discuss that when we meet, or if we do not have enough time for next meeting, then I will post another video again for you to study on or focus on para naata. So again, our deadline would be the objectives, theoretical background, and hopefully you can also include study links. Okay? So I think that's it for today's session. So yes, happy reading, everyone.